business is competition. It's a fight. It's
a war.
It's a war.
Are you apologetic about it?
Nope.
I'm not either.
I don't care.
So don't ask, because we not.
Nobody wants to really do the work.
I was just about to ask you.
How much money do I really want?
How much is enough, Kevin?
There's a lot of opportunity, and I think in some instances, the playing field is actually in our favor.
You really could never be like me. You really, I'm gonna be honest. Isn't it true that no.
Yes, you are.
No.
That's why I got the 2 pages. Well, one now.
Who ordered Domino's? This episode is going to be very close to my heart because it's a fellow colleague and comrade of mine. So today I'd like to introduce you guys to Mr. Kevin Jennings of the GovCheese platform.
Thank you.
Kevin, thank you for being here. All right, so this is going to be very special because you guys know that I'm a federal contractor, and I don't see too many people in the same business like myself, and also who do it for the culture. So I feel like, having Kevin on today is going to be very exciting because he's going to let us know, his feelings, and we're going to discuss some similarities in what we do as it relates to business. So Kevin, without further ado, please tell the people, how'd you get started? How did you even find out about contracting in general?
So my dad had been in government contracting in the 80s and 90s. He was in the 8A program in its infancy, and kind of one of, I guess you could say, like the pioneers of government contracting for minorities. But being pioneers, they didn't get it right? So when I say that, people are like, oh, that's great, your dad was doing government contracting. My dad was, I love him, but he wasn't succeeding in government contracting because being an African American in this country doing government contracting at the time, it wasn't big. So anyway, that's how I knew about it. And then he was kind of pushing me like, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to get a job? I was like, no. So he's like, well, try government contracting. So I was like, cool. So I started out and I was doing commodities. So toilet paper, paper towels, hand sanitizer, things like that. I was selling to a lot of local agencies here in South Florida. Then got into construction because I had the construction knowledge from flipping real estate.
Right.
And I had the crews because at the time, 2007, 2008, nobody was flipping houses, nobody was doing anything. So all of my guys, my flooring guys, cabinet people, electricians, plumbers, they're all calling me like, hey, you got work, and I had no work. So then I started letting the clients that I had on the government side know that I could do little stuff like that. And then I started getting the minor construction projects, and then literally it just snowballed, it just took off. Yeah, so that's when I started and just grew it all the way up. And then in 2014, 2015, I got into underground utility construction.
Right.
I started doing water and sewer stuff for local municipalities here in Florida. Then that just snowballed, the same thing, just blew up because at the time, there were very few small businesses that did underground utility work. And then when you started looking at minorities and things like that, from a local standpoint, there was even fewer.
Right.
And so I got into underground utilities, rolled that up, and then in 2017, I sold my underground utility company.
So I get it because, of course, I'm in it. But let's scale back a little bit. So to start, your dad was in it, and that's how you know about it. I kind of meandered into it on my own too, but for the average person sitting at home who's just a business owner, just explain to them kind of briefly what it means to do federal contracting.
Yeah, so this is what I tell people is like, the United States federal government is the largest purchaser of goods and services in the world, right? So any good or service that you provide to a person, you can provide it to the government. Right. For me, the benefit in providing it to the government is the government has, it's not an infinite pocketbook, but essentially an infinite pocketbook. Right. If you're trying to sell your good or service to some random person on the street, you can only make as much money as they have in their pocket at the time to give you. So essentially, it's just selling whatever product it is that you already sell to the government. Don't overcomplicate it. People so many times overcomplicate it, and they're like, well, isn't it just this? No, it's anything. Whatever you sell, whatever you do, the government buys it in some shape or form. And that's it.
So I feel like with regular business to business, and people are so used to doing business a certain way, they have no idea sometimes, like my mom don't even really know what I do. She's like, she does something for the government, I'm not really sure. What would you say are like a few misconceptions about regular business to business versus the way we sell to the government?
So I'd say like the biggest difference is the way the business is done. Right. The misconception in it is people actually think it's harder to sell to the government, but the reality is it's harder to sell to a regular person. And the reason I believe that is when you're selling to the government, everybody sells things the same way. because they have standards, they have procedures, you know what I'm saying? They have the FAR. So when they contract with someone under the FAR and they're doing a procurement for $250,000, it's gonna be the same all over. When you're doing business to business or business to consumer, you're changing your business practices to get a sale. So every time you meet a new customer, this customer says, well, I want it like this, you're gonna do whatever you gotta do because you wanna get that sale, right? So to me, it's harder to do business to business because you're constantly changing everything that you're doing. When you're selling to the government, you can create a business and just rinse and repeat. You do the same thing over and over and over.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think we don't see more of us, and when I say more of us, I mean black or brown people, women also, in this space?
Because it's a lack of education.
Okay.
So, for one, it's sad, but most black and brown people and even women don't seek education, right? So you look at the number of people from our communities that actually go to college, for example. In comparison to others, it's very low. We don't seek knowledge, right? And then we run from adversity. So this industry is not easy. So the minute you see that it takes a little bit of work to get into,
yeah, you're done.
They done. They
You're
turn
done.
and go.
Right.
So when you add all those things to it, it's just, to me, that's what it is. Like, it's not hard, but we don't seek the knowledge. And then there's very few places that we can even get the knowledge.
Right.
So it's like, if you really want to get into it, you got to go search.
Or if you get the knowledge, it's so technical that you're like turned off before you
even do it.
Do you feel like you see yourself? I feel like I never see myself in the room.
No.
We talked about this. It's the older black man, that's your dad, right? The one Indian lady, and everybody else is white.
Yeah, you're not gonna see ourselves in the room because most people, for one, that are our age, that are in the same peer group as us, they're not gonna do that because for one, it's not sexy. It's not cool.
Well, going to the bank is very sexy.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at like,
You got to get to the bank.
you got to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just not sexy. So I never see myself in the room. But on the flip side, I like that because then when I do walk in the room, now I'm looked at by everybody else.
Right.
And they're like,
What's he doing
what's he doing here?
What's she doing there?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
then now they want to talk to us. So it's actually a benefit.
So, okay, your dad was in it. So I feel like for that aspect, whether he was good or bad or whatever, you were exposed, right? When you had to walk in those early rooms, sometimes I can go back and I can recall being like, they didn't know I felt a certain way being there. I wasn't scared, but I wasn't necessarily, I didn't feel welcomed either. So I had to really poke my chest out and just be like, hey, I'm in here. Did you feel the same way of just being different and being younger, or how did you go into those spaces?
Yeah, it was tough. I felt all of that. And then in some rooms, it was almost bad because my dad was in it. Because then I was looked at kind of like, oh, that's cute, son. So then it was like people weren't really giving me the respect for me and being my own businessman. You know what I'm saying? Because I started, like I said, 2007, so I was 26 years old when I started.
You were young.
I was young.
Yeah.
And
I feel like a lot of people get into it way later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays, people think it's like, that's common. It's like, no, I started at 26. Like I would walk into these rooms and to these people, I was a kid.
Do you feel like you had to take the little opportunities and kind of prove yourself?
I did. I had to prove myself a lot. That's why I started with like commodities. Cause like people would think, oh, okay, your dad was a government contractor. You knew people at the SBA. You could go in there and they would give you stuff. No, they wouldn't.
Was he making money though?
He was not. He was not. He failed.
Well, talk to me a little bit about that.
He failed.
Do you think if you were him back then, you would have been able to amass more money, or you think you would be worse off?
So like if I was given the same start that he was given, but in today, I would have got more money because there was more access to knowledge. I honestly would have been just like him if I would have done it. If me and him, if the roles were reversed, I would have been just like him.
What do you think his main failures were? Because I mean, it doesn't sound like the opportunity wasn't there. So where do you think he went wrong?
I don't want to say he went wrong. He just learned, but the reality is, the government was learning at the same time.
Nobody talks about that.
Right, and it's a part of it, right? We all learn and grow at the same time, because it is a partnership. When you do government contracts, it's a partnership between you and the government. I tell my students that all the time. My dad's a first generation, well, I'm first generation American. My dad came to this country at 17, you know what I'm saying, from Jamaica. Okay. So he comes to this country, he don't know nothing about money. Right. He don't know nobody that know nothing about money. So, and then he start making millions of dollars, who he gonna turn to? Right. Then what? You know what I'm saying? So then like everybody, you get lawyers, you get accountants, but they just looking at you for what they can make off you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't fault him or anybody in that whole generation that didn't make it, because they didn't know no better. They didn't have the resources. You know what I'm saying? That's why I go so hard. Is like, okay, I got the resources. So now it's on me to make sure that I don't follow the same patterns. And then now it's also on me to make sure that I help those coming behind me. Just like his generation helps our generation, because they didn't have anyone that would help them. You know what I'm saying?
What was it like growing up for you guys economically? Were y'all in like upper middle class? Were y'all?
Nah, we was middle class, because even though he had his own business, he was still going to work every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In a
He had
warehouse, Slayton
expenses,
Park.
right.
He had expenses, he had all that.
The way
so,
to get paid, right?
so we lived exactly the same. Like, we was lower middle class in the beginning, and then eventually, you know what I'm saying, we got up, but I mean, we still never were to where I feel like we had money. Nah.
Do you feel like I feel like I've done way better than my parents.
Oh my God.
And my parents are not contractors. I mean, they were just regular working 9 to 5, but I'm first generation, like the one that made it. Do you feel like
same.
you came out better?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
How do you feel like he looks at you now in retrospect, since he did it and did it his way back then?
Like, he's proud of everything that I've done. I think sometimes he looks at it and is like, damn, I wish I could have done that type, you know what I'm saying? Almost kind of like got that little bit of regret. But he's happy.
Does he still help you? Like,
Oh yeah. He's still involved in he still has his original business, which was actually my original business. I sold it to him, so now he runs it. So he still does that, and then he helps me with everything that I do.
Give me your biggest loss or lesson in this journey. Because I feel like I look at business as a whole totally different now because of me doing business with the government. Like, I sub everything out.
I had a lot of losses.
Right. Pick the biggest.
I think what would be the biggest
Because
one.
losses is not always money.
It's not. It's not. Financially, I think I've lost probably $200,000 or $300,000 on a job. That's the most financial loss, right? Once again, a great lesson, because then I learned how to do certain things. Biggest overall loss was just, I would say, a loss of people. And the lesson that I learned from that was I had to learn who I could involve in the business. Because everybody, and this is not just government contractors, it's business in general, everybody is not meant to be in business. And so the biggest lesson that I had to learn coming up was that I couldn't bring people up with me. It just doesn't work. Like, as much as you love some people and you start to have success, so you want to share that success with others, you can't. It's just not, it doesn't work. So that's the biggest, hardest lesson I had to learn, was that everybody's not meant to have it.
Do you think business makes you, because people can be like, damn, you kind of cold. Well, I got to be this way. Do you think
100%.
you're a little heartless, or?
100%. I am.
Are you apologetic about it?
Nope.
I'm not either.
I don't care.
So don't ask, because we not.
And so I try to break it down to people like this, right? So, like, there's Kevin, the businessman, and then there's Kevin, the human being, the regular person. I'm a great human being. I'm a great person. I'm an asshole businessman. Like, I am. You don't want to do business with me, because business is competition. It's a fight. It's
war.
It's a war. Like, and so if you go to war with me, I'm gonna do everything in my power to annihilate you. And likewise, I would expect you to do the same thing. And so that's why I say you can't bring people up with you, because if me and such is cool, and then I'm like, all right, cool, start doing business with me, and then you bring that softness to the business that could jeopardize us and make us lose, then I gotta cut your head off. I gotta get rid of you, because now you
jeopardizing the whole mission.
The whole thing. So yeah, it's tough.
I don't think it's tough.
I mean, I
think you just accept it, and it is what it is, and you just wear it, and you wear it proudly, because you can't be soft doing this. Like, it just don't go hand in hand.
No, you have to have very, very, very thick skin.
Man, what about biggest wins?
I don't know. Wins. See, I'm weird like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm really, really weird when it comes to wins, because I never think I'm winning.
Why? Because you're always trying to get to the next.
Yeah, so I never.
Is that a man thing?
I don't think it's a man thing. I
think men are like that, though.
I would say no. I know a lot of women that are the same way. I would say that it's more prevalent in men, because men have that. Then it becomes that.
Spirit?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I don't really think I'd be winning. Like, I'm never
So give me
satisfied.
something that you don't think is a win, but somebody else was like, oh, he definitely winning.
Yeah, I mean a lot. Like, contract value wise, I've done a lot of contracts.
I heard $100 million.
I've done $100 million contracts. I've done a couple.
And you're not satisfied with that, or you don't feel like that's an accomplishment? Kevin, come on, really.
Then I've done a couple $100 million in total value.
Okay.
Not good. Like,
So explain the difference because they might not know when you say total value.
Yeah, so single award, my largest single award has been 100 million.
Wow.
And then when you look at contract value totals over time, I'm like right around probably like 500 million in total. But I mean, it is what it is. Because then when you look at other companies that do the same thing, I'm always looking at the stats. Well, it's like, cool, I did 100, but this dude just did 200. Million, right? Yeah, so it's like that.
But you have to know that, I mean, even just systematically, you just at a disadvantage anyways.
Yeah, but then I'm like,
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. Because then I look at it like,
it's possible.
It's possible, but then why do we think we're at a disadvantage? Because typically we say we're at a disadvantage because we're like, well, this person started at a different point or this person has more money. So it's like, as soon as you start leveling the playing field, then you're like, okay, so now it's a reality. It's not a disadvantage no more.
Well, let me ask you.
Now I just got to go harder.
Do you think the playing field is level?
I think, I'm not going to say it's completely level, but what I will say is that it is more level now than it's ever been. I think that the opportunity to advance in 2023
I agree.
is there. And I will say this, I think for our generation and our culture, there's a lot of opportunity, and I think in some instances the playing field is actually in our favor.
I agree.
More so than other people.
Especially in my favor.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I have to agree.
The playing field is definitely in our favor. I think it is.
Do you think your son will follow your footsteps, or would you be happy if he did, or you want him to do something completely different? Because here's the reality. We talk about the government, but it's also the government. Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes and I've seen it even with my own past, like sometimes it could just go I mean, business is business, regardless. It's not going to always come out the way we guess. So would you be happy if he followed?
I'd be happy if my kids want to do it. I would say if I look at my kids, I say my daughter is more inclined to do.
And why you say that?
Just because of the personality type. So my daughter is more like me. She's got that competitive spirit. She's like that, don't quit, keep going. Not that my son doesn't. It's just my daughter is more like she don't care. Okay. Like she don't care. She don't care right now. She's just gonna keep going until she gets exactly what she wants.
And how old is she?
She's 12.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, that's like an early trait to see.
Yeah. My son, you know, he'll do whatever. He's one of them types. Like I always tell people, when I look at my business, like my underground utility business, right, my daughter is gonna run my business. My son will work in my business.
Oh, I have that same dynamic going on too. I won't say. I'm gonna do what? Because one of them here, I won't say.
No, but I look at him and I tell him, like, my son, he's gonna be. I say the same thing though. My son's gonna be on a piece of equipment till he
For
can.
Sure.
He's gonna be in a ditch. He's gonna be laying pipe. He's gonna be on an excavator.
Your daughter's gonna be in the office.
Will be masterminding the whole thing.
What? Why?
If I only show one side, right?
What side do you think I show?
You just show the bossy business, and that's it. And then so then people create.
And I'm out.
Right, and that's fine, and I love that, and that's great. But I'm like, you gotta open up more because people gotta understand that it takes time and it takes things to get to that point.
It does.
Right. So now, like we were just talking about with our kids, we see in them at a young age, like, they have certain traits and qualities. So you probably always have that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And you've always been that. But it's things that you do on a daily basis that maintain that make you who you are, right? And that, to me, that's the big problem like social media these days. Is it's a highlight reel, right? So people only show you the end product and the one thing, you know what I'm saying? And then they think that that's it. So when I be telling you open up, the reason I say that is because there's a lot of people that might see that, and some of them get scared by it because they'd be like, oh, nah, I could never be like Casey. Like that, oh, nah, that's dope, but nah,
you really could never be like me. You really, I'm gonna be honest. When I look back at what I overcame to get here, I'd be like, y'all not built like me.
But that's
for
what
sure.
I be saying. That's why I say you gotta open up though, because that is so many more people's reality.
True, but no, right? It's a no for me.
So there's so many more people that's their reality. And if they saw that and they're like, oh, it would come together,
okay,
and then it would make sense, and they would be like, and so yes, they could probably never be you at this level.
For sure, no.
But then they could look at it and be like, oh, okay, so what I'm going through isn't crazy, it's not outside of the norm because she went through it, but this is how she overcame it, and then use that as strength, like we just talked about the losses and the lessons. So you use all of those things as lessons and you grew from them. And then I think you should open up more is because then you could tell people how to use that loss as a lesson. Because a lot of people, they just don't understand. They'll come up against adversity and then they'll be like, they'll quit because they don't know how to process it and they don't know how to take what they just learned through that experience.
But that makes me a therapist, and I don't want to do that. Because here's my thing: I'm not the girl.
But you are though.
But I don't want to be.
No, but you are. You are.
No.
You don't have a choice.
PSA: if you need motivation, I'm not the girl for that. Because here's the thing:
you can't say that.
Don't
what
you
think?
Isn't it true that No.
Yes, you are.
No. I mean, you are true. It's almost like the gift and the curse. At the same time, I feel like if you need to be motivated, if you got 5 smooth stones and that's all you had, because my trucking stuff was all I had. Like, I had to make it work. So I was like, hell bent on I'm gonna make this stuff work. Nobody had to tell me get up, keep going, don't quit. Nobody ever. In fact, my mom was like, please stop.
Stop. Right.
I'm tired of you like hitting your head against the wall. Please stop. And I'm glad I didn't. But I feel like people are weak. People are fickle. People are not disciplined. And if I gotta tell you to wake up and make your bed and brush your teeth, you're not my type of person. So, I'm not apologizing for that.
So you don't have to do that though, right? So imagine there's someone out there that is seeing, that is thinking all those same things, right? But they're not seeing anybody that looks like them that's actually doing it. So then they feel like that they can't. Whereas sometimes if they just saw that it's possible, that's all they need. So
tell me what that looks like in real time for you.
For me?
And I'm a judge because I already know it ain't gonna work for me. So like you have the technical aspect of what we do, right? Which is very technical.
Very technical.
So that's already like, because most people are, what did they say, D students. Okay, fine. And then you have
most entrepreneurs are CED students.
Right. Then you have the motivational side. And I just feel like I'm too far in my career to be your therapist and your literary guideline. So what does that look like for you to help somebody in both manners? So
like for me, the way I see, all right, so and that's why I got the 2 pages. Well, one now.
Who ordered Domino's?
That's why I got the 2 pages, right? So that's why I have my personal page, and then that's why I have the government cheese, because they cater to 2 different people at 2 different times in their life.
Do you let somebody follow both?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I have a lot of cross.
Okay.
Because I feel like, so there's some people that come to the government cheese that are coming for education that just want to learn about that, right? And that's cool. But then there's some people that want to learn, but they need that extra push. So like on my personal page, minus the slight ratchetness that happens some days.
Slight?
There's a lot of me just being me, like my habits, right? So like I wake up, this is what I do. This is how I do things, right? A lot of people, if they just change their habits a little bit, they would change their entire life.
I'm glad you said that.
So like one thing I said this week, because I go to the gym and I work out, an hour and a half, 2 hours every day in the morning, right? No matter what time I wake up, no matter what time I go to sleep. Sometimes I go earlier. If it's during the week, I'm in the gym by 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 at the latest. And I'm there usually till 8:30, 9 o'clock, right? Sometimes I'll do some stuff in the morning first, and then I'll get to the gym at 8 or 9, and I'll stay till like lunchtime. Okay. But I'm always in the gym. I said on my personal page this week, I told people, look, if you take 1 hour a day.
I saw that.
Right? You take 1 hour a day, and you focus on 3 aspects of your life, right? Most people are so worried about the financial aspect of their life that they forget that finances should be the last thing you worry about.
Okay.
All right? There's 4 pillars of health. Financial health is one. There's also spiritual, mental, and physical health.
Right.
Spend 1 hour a day focused on your spiritual, mental, and physical health. So 20 minutes. Spend 20 minutes reading a book, right? Trying to grow your mind, strengthen your mind. Spend 20 minutes praying or meditating. If you're a religious person, pray. If you're a non-religious person, cool, meditate. Do something to strengthen your spirit.
Right.
And then spend 20 minutes in the gym strengthening your body. If you do those things for 60 days, you will completely alter the trajectory of your life. And your finances are a byproduct of those 3, and I guarantee you financially you will change. So
we're talking about misconceptions of millionaires. Mm-hmm. So you hear this, get up 6 a.m., take a cold shower, spin around 3 times. Mm-hmm. Are you one of those guys? Sounds like you might be a little bit.
A little bit, but not to the extreme.
Do you think if you do those things, you'll be more prone to hit millionaire status, or?
100%.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say it's you don't have to be Mark Wahlberg and get up at 3:30. You don't have to be all of that, right?
Okay.
Excuse me. What I would say is you have to have structure in your life.
Right.
structuring your life, structuring my life is
Two totally different things,
types,
for
right?
sure, yeah.
But you have to have some sort of structure in your life, right? You have to focus on your mental, physical, spiritual health, right? And the reason I say you have to focus on those three is because when you start working at 9 a.m. and finish at 5, you're spending 8 hours focused on your financial health. So why not spend an hour focusing on the other aspects of your health?
A little bit at least, right?
A little bit, right?
Let's balance it out.
You have to balance it. So to answer your question, yes, I am one of those individuals. I'm not one of those crazy ones like that, but I do have crazy aspects, right? So like right now, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't eaten yet.
Okay.
So I fast every day.
Okay.
I'll fast literally till today. I'll eat at probably 4 o'clock. So I go through my entire day. I've been at the gym for 2 hours. I'm here doing this. I'm doing everything. So I have crazy structure within my day as well. So I'm not a 3 o'clock in the morning wake up, but don't eat all day.
Right, you'll do something else to offset.
Yeah, so I am an extremist, right? And I do feel like to be successful, you got to have some sort of crazy. Like we're all
for sure.
some sort of
We're
crazy.
all out of our minds. Especially us. We're really out of our minds.
You have to be. And the reason I feel like you have to be is you're going against the grain. You're going against the norm.
Man.
If you wasn't like some sort of crazy, it wouldn't work for you.
You want to talk about going against the grain?
Yeah, cool.
I feel like, again, I would say, to be honest, I've only seen one other girl that I feel like looks like me in this space. And she didn't really look like me, but you know what I'm saying? Like same age, kind of same. So when I saw you, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, okay, cool. Do you feel like you see a lot of yourself in other people in our realm, or you still feel like I feel like I'm way different. Like now that I've been online and educating, I see more girls popping up with it, but let's be honest, come on. Like y'all know it was me first.
I feel like I'm very different. I don't see in this space, ever since I've been online, I don't see anybody that I 100% can relate
Identify
to.
with.
Identify with, right?
In what ways?
Just everything. Like I don't talk like them cats. I don't dress like them cats. Like we don't come from the same place.
Same.
Like I just don't. I can't 100% identify with. I say there's one person that I think probably if people look online, they would compare me to and say that we're very similar because we kind of talk the same, we act the same, dress the same, but the difference is our successes are not even compared.
You're going to have to tell me later who that person is. I
we're
still
not
don't
even,
know.
We're not even, like, from a physical appearance or like how we come across, there's only one other person that I say kind of comes across like that. But then when you look at the actual successes of business, it's two.
I got to see little
apples.
bubbles in the animation go through because I'm like, who? You'll
and
tell me
apples.
offline.
When I look at like a lot of people in space, I'm not former military.
Right. Whereas when you didn't work for the government.
Yep. I wasn't in the military. I didn't work for the government. Right.
Those are like the biggest two.
Those are the biggest two. Typically, people that get in government contracting, they used to work for the government and then they got tired of signing the check, seeing the money fly. Right. Then you have people that were in the military. And then somebody hyped into, oh, you're a vet, right. You should do this, right? So that's how I see it.
Do you feel like you get a boost of goodness when you see somebody in it or, that looks like us? Or how do you feel when you see somebody else in it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love everybody that's in the space. I love getting new people in the space. I love every part of it because I feel like the more of us that get into it, the better chances we have to win across the board.
Oh, definitely. How much of a factor did faith play in your journey here?
It goes back to the spiritual stuff. Like I was just saying, you got to believe in something. If you don't believe in nothing, you can't believe in yourself. You got to have faith. You got to believe that you can do this. Because every day that you get up, there's a million people telling you can't do it.
Do you feel like anybody off the street can do this?
I feel like anybody off the street has an opportunity to do it. Right. Can they do it? I don't know. Besides
the technical aspect, what do you think would be the top challenge in doing business with the government?
Patience and resilience.
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially nowadays, don't have patience.
What about funding? You feel like that's a big deal? Because nobody ever talks about that.
I mean, look, funding any business is tough.
Right. Let's just be clear.
I would say that funding in this space is actually a lot easier. Okay. The problem goes back to the education and the access to it. I feel like there's not enough education to tell people this is how you do things. These are the type of funding opportunities that are available to you. Here's where you can go to. Here's community-based organizations that you can
Yeah,
go to.
because where
to
were
get
y'all
money.
at when I needed a notice of assignment?
And
Where were
that's the
y'all at
thing.
when I needed to phone my contracts and I ain't have no money? Like, where were y'all at?
And that's the thing.
You just don't know.
They just don't know.
Just don't know.
So I do feel like, in some respects, yeah, people straight off the street can do this, but they have to be resilient individuals. It takes a certain type of person to do this.
Man.
It takes a certain type of person to be in business.
Period.
But it takes a very, very certain special type of person to do government contracting.
Man. Let me ask you this, on the flip side of that, because you do business at the highest level, what do you think about the opportunities that teaching in the educational space online have presented in retrospect to, I don't want to say like a real business, because I mean, if you're making money, you're taking care of your family, okay.
So I'll tell you a real life one that I deal with on a regular basis. So I have realized that a lot of big businesses and even the government is actually happy that we do what we do.
Okay.
I've had agencies reach out to me,
Right.
and let me know that they appreciate what we do. And then, like with my partnership with the NFL loves what I'm doing.
Okay, wait a minute, pause for the people at home. Tell them about the NFL play.
Yeah, so I've been working for the NFL since 2010.
Okay.
I've been a general contractor in a consultant and sub-consultant role since 2010, working on Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, and large-scale events that the NFL does, right?
Right.
So the NFL has a large diversity program, right? And they get ragged on a lot and talked about by people because it's a league that's 95% African American, and they only spend 5% with African Americans, right? So when they saw that I was doing the government cheese stuff, like they started reaching out, like, yo, this is impactful. How can we help?
Be a part
How
of
can
it,
we
right.
be a part of it? How can you help us? You know what I'm saying? And so those are some things that I'm very proud of, is that people are seeing what we're doing and they're appreciating that we're educating and getting the knowledge out there and letting people know about all the opportunities that are available.
And the agencies too, like connecting them with people. Like even for myself, we've got like 12 black businesses into FEMA, just
Right.
online.
And the agencies love, like one of the agencies that's consistently like on my lives and like engaging is the Air Force. How they found me, I don't know. But
Well,
like,
it ain't really hard.
I mean, it's not hard, but like they must have like notifications turned on. Every time I go live, the Air Force jumps on and they're like, "Thank you so much," and like doing stuff like. And it's
Okay,
amazing
Air Force,
to me.
let's throw some dollars.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And
Let's
to
throw
me,
some
like
dollars.
that's dope. That they really want to. I feel like there are companies out there, large corporations, there's agencies out there that truly do want to make change. It's hard for them too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes it easier too because you're basically bringing.
I'm bringing it to
you're
them,
bringing
and
people
and
to
they
them.
love it. And that's one thing it says. Thank you for bringing
us
the
to
awareness
people.
and bringing people to us. Yeah.
What would you say your biggest obstacle right now is in business? Because I feel like when you get here, you say 500 million, 100 million. People are like, oh, he made it. Like he's set. But you have challenges too, just like anybody else does. So what would you say your biggest obstacle is right now?
In my actual business, biggest obstacle I have right now is people. People just don't want to work, and I'm in the construction industry, so it makes it even harder because nobody wants to do construction. So
Why do you think that is?
It's just because it's once again, it's not sexy.
PPP, people just lazy. What?
It's not sexy. Nobody wants to do active things. Nobody wants to really do the work.
Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit farther because I know what we're talking about. So we got Davis Bacon and all that kind of stuff. Even with what we are able to pay them, you still find it hard to.
Because people are dreamers, right? And it's so crazy that people will believe in someone else's dream before they believe in their own. So people get online and they see someone else's dream and they start to believe that someone else's dream could be their reality.
Right.
And they don't believe in their own dream. So yes, even though we can pay a lot of money, because we have to pay Davis Bacon wages and all these types of things, and then you can offer people. It's crazy to me. I tell people like, yo, you can make a lot of money just doing construction, just focus. And then they want to go do other things. So people's the hardest thing on that standpoint. It's just horrible. And then for me, personally, like one of the hardest things is like how I want to really grow and expand my own self. Like where do I see myself? Like
I was just about to ask you.
how much money do I really want?
How much
to
is
make
enough,
myself?
Kevin? What?
So it really gets to a point where it's not about a dollar figure.
Okay.
Right? Because the money comes and goes. Right. It's just it's money's not. It's horrible. I could talk money for hours, but like I feel like money is not a true barometer for success. And the reason it's not is because the value of a dollar changes every day, changes every minute. So you can't say that success is defined by a certain dollar figure when that dollar figure is going to change every day.
So what would make you happy? Like the apex level of like,
Crazy.
what would that look like? It doesn't even sound like it's necessarily money. Is it lifestyle? Is it I want 12 kids and we live by a river? Like what is it?
I struggle with like what people ask me all the time, like, what's gonna make you happy? Like, I don't know. That's my biggest problem is I don't know what will make me happy. I just keep going, and at this point, what makes me happy is seeing other people happy and helping other people achieve what they deem to be success.
Right.
Because to me, I feel like the level that people like my parents put out there for what they felt was success, and so what I thought success was, if you looked at that, I'm already successful.
Right. A long time ago.
So now I'm like, okay, how can I impact other people to help them get what they deem to be success? And then now they can show their peers that it's a reality, that it can be obtained.
And I hear a lot of people, you hear Jay-Z say that, you know, like it's the impact, it's the inspiration, it's the influence.
Like a man's true wealth and success is not measured by what he does when he's on this earth. It's measured by what is done after he's gone. How long does your name live on? How many lives have you impacted, right? Like that's what it's all about. Getting a bunch of money is not, I'm telling people, if you get a bunch of money, it's not gonna make you happy.
They're gonna be in the comments like, we don't wanna hear that.
And I get it, right?
Yeah.
So like most people are like, oh, I don't wanna hear that because I ain't got no money. Okay,
right.
Cool. So then think about how much money you want and then go get it. Like, it sounds crazy and cliche, but it's not hard to make money. It goes back to those habits. It goes back to the type of person you are. If you spending your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in a club, getting drunk, you know what I'm saying, doing all the things, no, you're not gonna be successful. If you're focused on Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 as what's gonna make you successful, you've already lost because you're trying to gain success in 40 hours.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Or not that 40 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's just my perception of success is different. Like I want to impact individuals. I want to help them. I want to help others that can't necessarily help themselves. I feel like I'm a vessel for financial blessings. So if God blesses me with money, how am I able to then take that money that comes to me and distribute it to as many people as possible to help them? And then from there, hopefully they're able to help others. To me, that's success.
Give us some productivity hacks. I'm all about working smarter and not harder. So give us a few things. I know you know some.
So waking up early has really been a big one for me.
Okay.
And here is why I am a proponent of waking up early. In my particular business in construction, the work days usually start at 7 a.m., 7 or 8 a.m., right? And so if I can get up around that 5 a.m. mark, I can get a lot of work done before the actual work day starts.
Right.
So waking up early is very, very, very productive. And even if you work a regular job, waking up early can be productive because you can get work done, you can go to work.
Get that jump.
And you get that jump and you beat people to it. If you're trying to do something once everyone else is doing it, no matter what it is.
You already late.
You already late.
Yeah, you were.
So that's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I like subbing out the work. Like I'm a big proponent of delegating.
Delegating is dope, especially once you can understand how to delegate, and then you can understand what you actually need. Like I delegate everything.
Yeah, me too.
People look at my life and they be like, "Well, you don't work, you don't do nothing." No, I work. It's just I'm smart enough to know that I ain't gonna do everything.
Yeah, because you're at the gym till 2 o'clock. So
no, I have great individuals in every one of my companies that I delegate tasks to.
Amen.
That know how to do stuff, and then I tell them to hire other great individuals below them so then they can delegate other tasks to.
Amen.
So then hopefully my phone don't ring.
And he just gave y'all the whole blueprint. I don't know if y'all know, but that is the whole blueprint to delegation.
The problem with a lot of people in business is they're not smart enough to hire smarter people.
Right.
See, I'm smart enough to know that I ain't smart.
Right.
And so I'm going to hire people that's
Smarter
than
you.
me. And I'm going to pay them what they want to get paid. Why? Because if I got to pay them more, that means they got to make more.
My slogan is what? All I got to do is pay for it? Oh, sign me up. I don't got to do it. I just got to pay for it. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Tell us a hidden talent, something we may not know or suspect about you.
I ain't got no hidden talents.
Everybody got hidden talents.
Um,
Or just something we may find like, not weird, but you know, just not the norm for.
so one thing about me, and I don't know, it is kind of weird, but like I can manifest anything.
Okay.
If I tell myself I'm going to do something, I
Yeah.
will do it.
All
There's
right.
nothing in the world that I can't tell myself that I can do.
Yeah.
Well, to me,
I feel the same way.
Some people think that's weird because they're like it. My mom still laughs at it because like I'll say I'm gonna do this. Like where I live at now, I told her I was gonna live there like 5-6 years ago.
Okay. I got a similar story.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If I say it and I blink my eyes twice, it's
gonna
done.
happen. It's a wrap.
It's
Like,
done.
And I can do that in anything in my life with.
And that's the power. Like knowing that you can do that.
I can do it. And
Yeah.
once I realized that I can do that,
When did you realize you could do it?
probably like, it hasn't been long.
Right.
Honestly, I didn't realize that I truly had the ability to affect my life in that manner. Probably 7-8 years now.
I think it's a muscle that you just kind of like. Damn, did I do that?
You have to
Damn,
train it
I
too.
pulled that off. Damn, I did it
You
again.
have to train it.
You got to train it for
you
sure.
have to train it.
You feel pretty fearless at this point? Safe
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna
say?
say I'm
Okay.
not. Because if you once again learn that every loss can be transformed into a lesson, I'm not.
And it ain't really a loss. The stuff that don't work out for you works in your favor just as much as the stuff that does. You just don't realize it because it ain't going your way. It still all works.
One of my boys, Mike, he has a phrase that he says it all the time. People like think he's being cocky, but then it took him really explaining it to me for me to get it. But he'll always say, he'll be like, bro, I don't lose.
We're going to play a little game. This or that. Okay? All right. So, city slicker or country boy?
That's tough.
Oh, come on.
Because I'm both.
You got to pick one.
I know. That's so tough. Because I literally am both.
You got a 60-40 this.
Because look, I'm going to tell you, like, it's crazy. I literally am both. Like, I'm a city slicker, but up until probably 6 months ago, my everyday vehicle was a lifted 2500.
I thought you would
that
pick
I
the
drove.
country boy.
Because I'm a
For
country
sure.
boy.
I
I'm a
thought you
country
would.
boy, but I'm a city slicker. So it's
So
tough.
which one wins?
I'd say city slicker.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
shocked.
Oh, I know, me too. It's hard. It's tough for me to say that.
Beer or wine?
See, this is where the country boy come in. Beer.
Beer. Chevy or GMC?
Neither.
What? Pontiac?
Nah, I would go. If I'm doing trucks, I would go the Dodges. But
Okay.
I would say, yeah.
So neither? Okay. Peanut butter, creamy or crunchy?
Creamy.
Okay. Wolf or vampires?
I would say wolves.
I agree. Cash or credit? Crypto.
Yeah, right.
Which one?
I'm gonna go cash.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Reality TV or docuseries?
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna say. See, this is where the ratchetness comes in, right?
Okay, just say reality TV. Okay.
Some say reality TV.
Reality TV? French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
Okay. Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Okay. All right. So I'm shocked.
Really?
Yeah, because some of the stuff I was like, for sure. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a little ratchet there. We get it. Reality TV. Okay. First thing that comes to mind when I say the following words. First thing that comes to mind. Money.
Happiness.
Okay. Florida.
Happiness.
You can't say happiness for all of them. Social media.
The devil.
Damn. Oh, because your page. Okay. He a little sensitive, folks. Success.
Family.
Okay. Relationship.
Family.
Okay. Competition.
The best.
Fatherhood.
Amazing.
Faith.
Everything.
Discipline.
A must.
Wow. Okay. Well, you passed.
Yeah.
You passed.
Yeah.
I think that was good.
Florida is happiness.
I mean, a lot of yours is, I'm like, damn, you can't keep saying happiness now. You cheating.
That's true.
No, that was good. I thought I knew about you, I did, but I didn't.
Yeah. The country boy city slicker thing is tough for me. It's so like it's tough.
You can be half and half.
Because it truly, like for me, it truly is half half. Like I love city life, but then I crave wide open spaces and country life.
And I think everybody has, layers to them. I mean,
Yeah,
some
so
things you're conservative about, some things you're liberal about. It is what it is.
Like I had a cattle farm up until March of this year.
Oh, wow. Down here?
Yeah, in Florida. So I would spend literally my entire weekends for the past year and a half before I sold it, like at my farm, birthing cows.
Oh, wow.
Steering cows.
You was on your Yellowstone, hard body.
Yeah, like I'm really a country boy. Like I hunt, I fish, Like I'm always outside doing stuff, but then I love the city.
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Anything you want to leave the people? Any words of wisdom?
Believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. Just go make it happen. Everything's possible. It's 2022. You ain't got no excuses why you can't make it.
It's 2023.
Oh shit, it's 2022 now. Damn,
Even better.
Even
We
better.
closer.
My bad. And you see, my mind's so messed up.
No, it's all right. Tell them where they can find you and how to get in contact with you.
Yeah, so across all social media platforms, it's the government cheese. And just get at me, man. I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm here to provide guidance however I can. Use me as a vessel, like I said.
You want to leave them a website?
Yeah, thegovernmentcheese.org is the website. Social media is the government cheese. Like I said, on all platforms.
Y'all heard it here first. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kevin Jennings. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more.